Hello friends, welcome to CS Tube. Today we are going to define what is automata. Automata is a plural form of automaton. Automaton is defined as a system where energy, material and information are transformed, transmitted and used for performing some functions without any direct participation of man. In other terms, we can say that if we are automating any process, that is, we are making a process automatic, then we are calling it as a automaton. So in this, the input can be in the form of energy. It can be in the form of material, or we can also provide information as an input. Now, the things that are provided in the form of an input are transformed. Then it is transmitted and are used for performing some functions without any direct participation of a man. That means the input provided to a machine is being processed and a meaningful output is generated. This particular process is known as automaton. In computer science, the term automaton means discrete automaton and is defined by this particular diagram. Now, why is it called discrete automaton? Because in a particular period of time, a particular operation is performed. That means at an instance of time, a particular operation is performed. That's why it is called discrete. For example, we are providing input I1, I2, so on till IP to a automaton machine, and there are certain states, or we can say there are certain processing units. So these states are represented as Q0, Q1, so on till Qn, and then the output is provided in the form of O1, O2, so on till OQ. So we can say that at a particular instance of time, input I1 is provided to our automaton and it is processed by different states and the output O1 is generated. That's why it is called discrete automaton. Let's take an example. Suppose we are using a washing machine. So in our washing machine, what is the input? So input is a dirty cloth. Now the dirty clothes are provided as the input. Initially we are at state Q0. So initially we haven't provided anything to our washing machine. We have just plugged it into the switch and it has started its functioning. Now the second input which we can provide to a washing machine is the detergent, or we can say that it is a washing powder. So the second input is provided as the washing powder. Now we are on the state Q1 where we have provided two inputs, that is dirty clothes and detergent. Then we can go to the next level and we can input the water into the machine. Now as the input third, we are providing water into our machine and we are on the state Q3. Now on Q3 we can start the machine, we can provide the timer and the machine will start washing the clothes. Now once the clothes are washed, then we are not providing any other input. We are at a state Q0, Qn. Now after this particular state, if Qn is our final state, then we will have the output as OQ. So OQ will be our clean clothes. Now after each state, we can determine that what will be the output. Now suppose initially when we have provided the dirty clothes into our machine, and we have done nothing, we are on the state Q0, then the output will be dirty clothes itself. Now suppose in the next state we are providing input as detergent powder. So dirty clothes plus detergent, we are on the state Q1 and the second output that is generated is still the dirty clothes along with the detergent that is provided as a second input. Now, when we have provided water and we are on the state Q3, and the machine has started its processing. That means it has started washing the clothes. Then there will be some output generated, and the output can be the washed clothes, but still we are not on the final state. Now suppose the full processing is complete and the clothes are washed and they are dried up and cleaned. So we are on the state Qn and we consider that Qn is our final state. So the final output generated is the clean dried clothes. So in this particular way, without intervention of the human being in the full process, we have provided a automatic machine to wash the clothes. So this type of automation is known as a automata. Now we will see what are input, what is output, what are states, and what are the relation between states and outputs. Now if we talk about input, at each discrete instance of time, as I have already told you that we are talking about discrete instance of time. Discrete means at a particular instance of time. So at a particular instance of time t1, t2, so on till tm, the input values can be I1, I2, so on till IP. That means at time t1, we are providing input I1. At time t2, we are providing input I2 and so on. These input can take a finite number of fixed values from the set summation. So summation is the set of inputs. So all the inputs which we are going to use will be taken from the set summation. So summation is the representation, a mathematical representation that is provided to the set of inputs. Now next is our output. So output is represented as O1, O2, so on till OQ, is the output which can take a finite number of values from the set O. So from the set O, we are considering the set of output as O and the set of input as summation. So at time t1, we will be having output O1. At time t2, we will be having output O2 and so on. Now, we talk about the states. At any instance of time, the automaton can be in one of the states Q1, Q2, so on till Qn. So, we can be on any of the states when our machine is in the working condition. So, when we are at time t1, then we can consider that we are at state Q1. At time t2, our machine is at state Q1 and so on till Tn, Tn plus 1, we are on the state Qn. So at a discrete instance of time, a input is provided and we are on a particular state and a particular output can be generated. And at the final state of the machine, we are providing the input as IP at time Tn plus 1. The output that is generated is O, Q, and the state which is responsible for the final output generation is Qn. So this is our final state. Now, if we talk about the state relation, next state of an automaton at any instance of time is determined by the present state and present input. So, suppose initially we are at a state Q0. Now we need to move to state Q1. So what are the parameters which are going to decide that what will be our next state? So the two inputs that will decide the next state is first is the input itself and the second is the current state. Suppose we are at state Q1 and we are providing input I2, then we will move at Q1. Suppose we are at state Q1 and we are providing input I3, then we will move to state Q2. Similarly, if we are at a state Qn minus 1 and we are providing the input as IP, then we will move to state Qn and so on. So, whenever we need to find that what is our state on which we will be currently present, then there is requirement of two parameters. First is the input and second is the state. So input and the current state decides the next state of our automaton. Now, output relation. On reading an input symbol, the automaton moves to the next state, which is given by the state relation. So, while we are reading any input symbol, our automaton will move to the next state and correspondingly it will generate the next output. As we have told you about the example of the dirty clothes washed through a washing machine. So when we are providing the input I1, that was our dirty clothes, and we are on the state Q0, the output generated is O1, that is dirty clothes itself, because they are not processed. Then we are providing detergent as the input. We will move to next state Q1, which is having two inputs. First is our dirty clothes and detergent. Then we will have the output as dirty clothes plus detergent. Still, the clothes are not clean. Now, in the I3 input, we are providing water and we are on the state Q3. Now, at the state Q3, the dirty clothes are washed and we are providing the output as washed clothes. But still, we haven't dried the clothes. Now, after following all the steps and providing all the inputs, let's say we are on the last state, that is our final state, and we have provided dryer also to the clothes. Then we will have the output as clean clothes and that are dried. Now let's see the different examples that we are considering in this particular subject, automata. So for any automaton in which output depends only on the input, then we call it as a automaton without a memory. Suppose a particular machine generates the output depending only on the input. It doesn't consider the state. Then this particular type of automaton without any memory is known as the automaton without a memory. Now the second type of automaton is that in which the output depends on both the input and the states. And this type of automaton is called the automaton with finite memory. So the example of our finite memory automaton are DFA and NFA, deterministic finite automata and non-deterministic finite automata, that we are going to see in our further videos. Now the next is the automaton in which output depends only on the states of the machine. That means they are not dependent on the input. So such type of a machine is called as a Moore machine. Now the next is the automaton in which the output depends on the state as well as input at any instance of time. Then such type of a machine is called as a Mealy machine. That means in the automaton, if the output and the state are considered along with the input, then we are calling it as a Mealy machine. In our further videos, we are going to describe finite automata such as DFA, NFA, Moore machine, Mealy machine in much more detail. So no need to worry about these two things at this particular stage. So that's all about automaton, and that's why in the we are in the requirement to use or to automate a process to make it more comfortable and to make it less human interactive, but making it more user friendly. So that's all about the introduction to automata. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe our channel CS Tunes.